Welcome back to the Deep DISCOG, the Men in Music Business Conference, featuring speakers from throughout the music industry, such as Will Johnson, John Wilson, Son Will John, a roundtable discussion about the state of modern hip-hop, and an after-party at the Waffle House in Florence, Alabama. Today, we're talking about Lana Del Rey. Let's dive in. Elizabeth Lizzy Woolridge Grant was born in June 1985 in Manhattan, but she was raised in Lake Placid from the age of 1. She got her start singing at church. Before she could become a sacred music child prodigy, though, she was sent to Kent boarding school at 14 because of reckless behavior. Lizzy later said it was to get sober. She moved to Long Island after graduating from Kent and stayed with her uncle and aunt. The former taught her guitar, while attending Fordham University to study philosophy and metaphysics. She also started playing shows in New York City under names like Lizzy Grant and the Phenomena and Sparkle Jump Rope Queen. Wasn't that who wrote 50 Shades of Grey? In 2005, 2 EP titles were registered by Lizzy with the US Copyright Office, Rock Me Stable and From the End. There was also an acoustic demo album, Sirens, under the name May Jailer. That record has the earliest known recordings of Lizzy. It never officially released, but it's not hard to find. In 2006, at a songwriting competition, Lizzy met a rep from 5 Points Records. She sent them some demos, and they offered her a record deal for $10,000, which she used to move to a trailer park in New Jersey. So that's what that one song is about. From there, she began working on an album with producer David Kahn. You might know him for producing Tony Bennett's MTV Unplugged, Sublime's Self-Titled, The Bangles' Different Light, or The Strokes' First Impressions of Earth. In 2008, not only did she graduate from Fordham, but she also released her debut EP in October, Kill Kill. Lizzy said that it was Hawaiian glam metal. I love saying words too. There's only 3 songs, and I'm not gonna go into them here because they would all appear on her debut album released in January 2010. So who is this Lana Del Rey Aka? Aka in Hawaiian has multiple potential meanings, including reflection, knuckles, newly hatched fish, but I'm getting word now that in this case, Aka is just AKA, like also known as, so while my lawyers hash that out, let's explain the other 3 words. Between Kill Kill and this album, Lizzy wanted to change her name. During a trip to Miami, she and some friends came up with the name Lana Del Rey. It's a mix of actress Lana Turner and the Ford Del Rey. Though for this name, Lizzy changed it from Ray with an E to Ray with an A, and that A stands for a more alt-rock version of Lana's later sound. Lana Del Rey, aka Lizzy Grant, imagines a universe where Lana came to fame as a 90s singer-songwriter. Think a Lana Del Rey set. Even still, there are bits and pieces that sound like what one might expect from a standard Lana Del Rey album. Like on the closer, Yayo. It's got the same languid, savory feel as anything off a later Lana album. Or Kill Kill, which, you know what, I gave it lip earlier, but the label of Hawaiian glam metal actually fits. 4K Part 2 has this sultry slow strut helped by a great live band. That band also adds life to tracks like Queen of the Gas Station and Put Me in a Movie. And then there's Mermaid Motel.
Maybe we could go to Coney Island. Maybe I could sing the national anthem. Buy a white sweater for the last white day of the summer.
Now, this is where I would say that you can check out all of the noteworthy songs that I mentioned in a playlist, and for the rest of these albums, that is true. There's a playlist in the description. You can go check it out. But that's actually not possible for this album because it has not been widely available for over a decade. Apparently, Lana did buy the rights to this album, plus she said she was planning to re-release it back in 2012. That said, it's not impossible to find a bootleg through special methods. Still, this is not some unsung masterpiece, and I don't think you need to listen to it to get into Lana Del Rey. It kind of reminds me of the very first album from Björk, like back when she was a child. It's a neat bit of history, but I would recommend it only if you've got the rest of her albums under your belt and you just need Mermaid Motel in your life. I have no clue how this thing was perceived. It dropped on iTunes and Amazon only, and I couldn't find any reviews of it from 2010. Any reviews I could find have been retrospective, and they mostly aggregate to, it's okay. Lana met 2 new managers after the album's release, and together, the 3 not only negotiated her exit from 5 Points, but removed Lana Del Rey, aka Lizzy Grant, from distribution. But arguably, those weren't the biggest changes for Lana at this time, because she changed her name back to the Ford preferred spelling. Make sure you don't mispronounce it, by the way. It's Lana Del Rey, not Lana Del Rey. So what was this next evolution of Lana Del Rey going to do now that she had left her old label? I have a few ideas. In October 2011, Lana Del Rey released Video Games. It was co-written with Justin Parker, who would go on to write a few more early Lana hits, and Rihanna's Stay. It was produced by Robopop, who had only produced 1 released song before this, Gym Class Heroes' Stereo Hearts. He would also produce their song Ass Back Home that same year. Do you think they'd be friends? On Video Games, Lana sings about her enduring love for a man who is just a piece of shit. Or I mean, maybe he's fine. His personality traits, according to Lana, are drinking, playing video games, and ignoring her. In interviews, Lana said that it's about an ex of hers and the little things in the relationship, though she does acknowledge the sad subtext. Quote, I think we came together because we were both outsiders. It was perfect. But I think with that contentment also comes sadness. There was something heavenly about that life. We'd go to work and he'd play his video games. But also it was maybe too regular. That said, Video Games doesn't sound outright sad. Melancholic, sure, but this doesn't sound like a woman wanting to escape a dead-end relationship. It sounds like a woman who enjoys, or at least accepts, this dead-end relationship. Hell, you take the chorus on its own, and it's a straight-up, wholehearted love song. I've actually been wondering this recently. Where does everybody stand on this song? Like, do we all believe that this is 100% serious? Or do we think it's like at least a little tongue-in-cheek? Here's where I'm coming from. A few weeks back, Death Grips walked off stage at a show after getting pelted with objects. This incident snowballed into larger discussions about other shows on the tour they were on, people dressing like toddlers, one guy pissing on the ground. Wait, what? But there was this through current, this idea that the band initially came up with a fan base that made jokes and memes about the sheer on display, but when new people came into the fray, they took the jokes and memes at the surface level. They were like, oh, so this is the language we use to talk about this specific band. I wonder, has something like that happened to Lana? Has Video Games existed for so long now that most people take it and the overall discourse fully at face value? I don't have the answer to that, to be clear. Someone who's been a bigger fan of hers for longer would have a better answer than me. Maybe that's the risk in putting out any art that has layers to it. You gotta be ready for people to take only the surface level in. Anyway, aside from the lyrics, there's also, music. And the music is simple. Lana, piano, strings on the choruses. It's a beautiful sound that is driven by Lana's vocal performance, which sounds a bit different here. As opposed to her performances on the first album, Lana chose to sing lower in her register. In tandem, there aren't any moments where Lana shows off her range. It's reserved, it's intimate, it's a little bit theatrical. I'm gonna try to avoid using the word aesthetic because if I start now, it will never stop, but the overall aesthetic of Lana Del Rey at this point exuded unlimited potential. A lot of music sounds like this now, but take your ass back to 2011. The pop girlies were singing songs like this. And this. No one knew who this girl was. No other person was singing like this. It was intoxicating. Special mention should also be given to the music video. It's mostly just clips of Lana filmed with her webcam, plus old archival footage. Why is this the opening shot? Video Games wasn't a hit in the chart sense. It would only get onto the Hot 100 when its associated album released, and even then it stayed in the 90s. But online? Oh my god, this thing was inescapable. inescapable. The discourse void opened its gaping maw and sucked us all in. An uninterrupted deluge of reviews, opinions, Tumblr posts about this song, its music video, and Lana herself. A lot of this conversation revolved around the concept of authenticity and the question of if Lana was authentic. I don't care. I think the authenticity debate is a losing battle for everyone involved, especially for an artist with a distinct persona like Lana. The public also tends to be rather selective with when authenticity matters or doesn't. Like, I don't remember this kind of discussion going on for The Weeknd. House of Balloons came out a few months after Video Games. Where were all the Tumblr posts about him? I wish I could say this topic flamed out soon after Video Games, but the authenticity debate will hound Lana in different ways up to the present day. Let's be honest with ourselves, if Video Games blew up today, Lana would be pegged as an industry plant in seconds. Off the strength of Video Games, Lana was signed to Interscope Records. January 10th, 2012 saw the release of Lana's self-titled EP featuring Video Games and a few other songs, and later that same month, Lana Del Rey released Born to Die. Michelangelo's David, The Birth of Venus, the Mona Lisa. Have you ever looked at one of these timeless pieces of art and said, it's actually surprising to listen to a Lana Del Rey album that actively wants me to listen to it? Sorry, that's not the best way to put that. Lana's albums these days, they're well made and gorgeous, but I wouldn't say they have clear hooks or big sing-along choruses, though that does not stop the kids these days. Born to Die is a pop album. It is the most pop album she's ever made. The songs on here want to be on the radio or used in commercials. Lana says her early relationship with alcohol and New York City influenced most of these songs. In turn, many of them follow in the steps of Video Games, questionable relationships portrayed with nostalgic flair. The title track embodies this to a T. It describes a couple in love on the verge of destruction. Blue Jeans was Video Games' B-side, and you could argue that this was as crucial to Lana's explosion as Video Games. The big thing it brings to the LDR table is a dollop of Americana, specifically in the first verse, which conjures this old-school American ideal man.
It was like James Dean, for sure.
Instead of piano balladry though, Blue Jeans' sound was inspired by Timbaland. In fact, the whole album has clear influence from hip-hop. A good chunk of the songs here, Diet Mountain Dew, Radio, Carmen, have production from Emil Haney and/or Jeff Basker. As a point of reference, they worked on Kanye's Runaway. Emil would go on to be one of Lana's most frequent production collaborators, along with Rick Knowles, who is also on this record. Off to the Races has Lana singing about a mobster boyfriend. There's a review of this album on Google that says this is the best song Lana's ever made. I was open to having that experience for myself, and then I heard Lana sing
Light of my life, fire of my loins.
And I just can't agree with that. I feel so unnerved by the way she sings that. Yes, I'm aware that line is pulled from the opening of the novel Lolita, but just because I know where something's from doesn't mean I have to like it. Guys, the toxic sewage might taste bad, but it came from the farmer's market. National Anthem is another evocation of American iconography, not just in its title, but its obsession with wealth.
Money is the anthem of success, so before we go out, what's your address?
And Summertime Sadness reflects on a blissful romance that has sadly ended. This would not be this song's final form though. More on that later. All of this combines to make an album that is okay, but I will defend the idea of it with my life. Now, Mike, what does that mean? Well, Mike, in the years since, Born to Die has absolutely become a defining album of its time. Hell, a defining pop music work of the 2010s. I wonder if anyone has said that before. It has earned its place in the kingdom of pop royalty, but it does not have a place in the kingdom of being a good album to me personally. Lana trying to fit her singular style into the mold of early 2010s pop music doesn't feel right to me. Granted, I say this with bias as I know how her career will pan out and how other records will take shape. Born to Die was the first one to do it, so it gets special treatment, but I think other records do it better. It's like breathing oxygen. You can't really hate on that. But like, you can if you try. Born to Die is fascinating. The album itself is an imperfect document, but the sheer potential and the appeal of its visual presentation is so potent that it kinda doesn't matter. I would recommend other Lana Del Rey albums before Born to Die, but I don't think there's one as important as Born to Die. Easily Lana's best album. People who dislike this album are old and boring. They don't understand what it's like to be a teen Bambi, Lily Rose Depp, Carmen, Victoria's Secret angel, and should leave this album alone for the cool hot people to enjoy. Upon its release, Born to Die was considered alright, okay. It sure sold well though, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard Top 200 and going on to be the 5th best-selling album of 2012. Its sales performance has been insane, by the way. This album came out in January 2012, and it has been on the Billboard album chart since then. It has not left. That's wild. It's like how Mr. Brightside has just been on the UK singles chart for nearly 400 weeks. To cement her rise to fame, Lana Del Rey performed on SNL in late January 2012. This was the performance that would introduce her to the public at large and shoot her into a new stratosphere of popularity, and you know where I'm going with this, don't you? Both of her performances aren't that great. I have no interest in rehashing how or why, but it's the timing that is most unfortunate, as it gave Lana deniers ample opportunity to be like, hey, you poo-poo head. There were a few chunks of new music from Lana between Born to Die and the next album. The first was a cover of the Clovers' Blue Velvet in September 2012. This song was recorded for H&M's Fall collection. She's even in the commercial, which is an homage to David Lynch's Blue Velvet. Next, in November 2012, the Paradise EP. This EP was available on its own, but it also came packaged with a re-release of Born to Die subtitled the Paradise Edition. Sonically, it's absolutely a continuation of Born to Die. Lyrically, it's similar, but with a bit more sexual edge to it. Oh, you want me at Lana's shows singing along to every word? Do you really mean that? My favorite track here is the opener Ride. It's got an excellent chorus. There's also a re-recorded version of Yayo, making it the only song from the OG debut album to be re-released as of now. In March 2013, she released Burning Desire, a promotional song for Jaguar. The next month, Lana was featured on the soundtrack for The Great Gatsby movie. Perfect. No notes. Flawless match of film and musical artist. It's like how The Weeknd did a song for the 50 Shades of Grey movie, as if they fulfilled some ancient prophecy by making this song. And this song was young and beautiful. Apparently it was written prior to her joining the Gatsby soundtrack, but sometimes you dress for the job you want, not the job you have. It's gorgeous, Lana sounds great, the strings are sweeping, gold stars all around. Young and Beautiful was the biggest hit from the Gatsby movie soundtrack, and by proxy, Lana's biggest hit at that time. But she soon beat her own record in July 2013 with Summertime Sadness Cedric Gervais remix. Yeah, like the title suggests, the French producer took Summertime Sadness and gave it a classic EDM beat. It remains Lana's biggest chart hit. One more 2013 release to mention, the short film Tropico. It's a 3-part reimagining of the Adam and Eve story where Lana is a stripper and God is John Wayne. A few of Paradise's songs serve as the soundtrack. Good work, Lana.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, back to that next album. Lana almost didn't make it. She said she wasn't gonna release another album after Born to Die because she had said everything she wanted to say. That can't be possible, you hadn't said this yet. But by 2013, reports showed that she was once again back at it. In fact, in early 2014, we got signs that she was in the studio with Maleficent? Oh, sorry, no, she did a song for the Maleficent movie. She was actually in the studio with Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys. In June 2014, we got Ultraviolence. Turns out the little hints were actually quite big. The majority of this album was produced by Dan Auerbach. Apparently the record was done before Dan came in, but his input led to more or less an overhaul of the whole thing. This collaboration is like when Taylor Swift would later link up with Aaron Dessner of The National for Folklore, a well-known pop star teaming up with a respected name in the alternative rock space. Of course, there are differences. Personally, I liked Taylor Swift before Folklore, but I didn't fully click with Lana until later in the 2010s. I loved The National for years before Folklore, but the Black Keys? Honestly, I can take them or leave them. I don't hate him or anything. I like El Camino, I like Brothers, I'd even go to bat for Turn Blue most days, and from what I understand, that album is a bit of a black sheep, their transference, if you will, but I don't have a super strong attachment to them. That said though, boy did Dan work wonders on this. Instead of the glossier hip-hop leaning sound from Born to Die, Ultraviolence pulls from psych rock and blues, genres that evoke the same feeling that Lana was going for lyrically on the last album. See, I think that was my hang-up with Born to Die. In its lyrics and sometimes in its music, it evokes a feeling of nostalgic elegance. But for most of the music, it's a 2012 pop album. It can sometimes feel like musical dress-up. Ultraviolence is, for me, the first time when the music Lana sings over matches the words and the tone of what she's singing. And when that happens, it can be unstoppable. Dan is the sole producer on the album's first 5 songs, and this may be the finest 5-song stretch of Lana's entire career. Cruel World has Lana saying goodbye to a person or thing. I love how unhinged Lana sounds when she sings the chorus.
You dance in circles around me. You're f***ing crazy.
Ultraviolence is inspired by a cult leader Lana met back in New York, framing his recklessness as charismatic, like a much darker video games. Shades of Cool is about an emotionally distant lover, and it's got a sick as hell guitar solo in the bridge. Brooklyn Baby plays with satirical Brooklyn stereotypes. Her boyfriend's in a band. He plays guitar while she sings Lou Reed. The song was supposed to actually have Lou Reed on it, but the day she flew in to meet him was the day he died. So naturally, he was too busy to make it to the studio. And then there's West Coast. Now listen to me. You can say anything you want about Lana Del Rey. You can make all your funny little jokes and make your silly little memes. But don't you ever say anything about this song. This is one of the best songs Lana has ever done, an ode to a love whom Lana can't bear to leave. The verses are playful and simmering. I've always loved the way the guitar goes. These pre-choruses build tension with the downward motion in the chords and Lana jumping to a higher range.
You say you miss me, you say I miss you so much.
And then it slows down for that blissful chorus.
I can see my baby swinging.
Utterly sublime. It's in these moments where the escapist appeal of Lana's work truly shows itself to me. It makes me feel like California is real. The rest of the album after those 5 songs is good too, leaving space for other producers like Greg Kurstin and Paul Epworth. I wouldn't say there's a West Coast level jaw dropper on the back half, but I'm honestly happy we got even one. For me personally, Ultraviolence is just as important as Born to Die. It's proof that this whole Lana Del Rey experiment can result in truly timeless music.
I'm in love. I'm in love.
Ultraviolence got great reviews and debuted at #1 on the top 200. You're goddamn right, it did 10 million points to Ultraviolence. Work on a follow-up began later in 2014, and in January 2015, Lana told Billboard a new album would be out that year. Oh boy, I can't wait to hear her continue the sound of Ultraviolence. She said this album would be more in line sonically with Born to Die in Paradise. The sun does not go down with my final breath. In other interviews, Lana cited her desire to work with Giorgio Moroder and Mark Ronson, and she ended up doing a few sessions with Mark. Unfortunately, nothing from those sessions made it onto this next record. Lana also went on tour in the summer of 2015. This was not the first time she had toured, and it would not be the last. But I bring this up because I actually saw her on this tour. I don't remember too much because I wasn't well versed in her catalog back then, but it was a good time. Grimes opened for her. I don't know what to make of that information in 2023. In August 2015, Lana fulfilled another ancient prophecy and showed up on a Weeknd song, Prisoner, from his album Beauty Behind the Madness. This would be the first of a handful of collabs between the two. And the next month, Lana went on her honeymoon. Yes, the guitars and the rock and the blues and the general life choice validation is no longer here, but we're not dealing with another full-on pop album. While Honeymoon's sound is definitely pop, it's a subtler, more mature pop than Born to Die or Paradise. High by the Beach. Weird but f***ing beautiful. I feel like I shouldn't like the overt trap beat on this, but I find the vocals so immediately engaging.
When you would pay tribute to me, 'cause I knew that.
Also, if I say anything bad about it, Lana will blow me up with a gun. Music to watch boys to.
Goes to show you, doesn't it? Bollocks people won't believe if you get them scared enough.
Yeah, I could see what she was going for. Terrence Loves You is Lana's favorite song on this album, and I'm a fan as well. Damn, that chord progression on the chorus is good. And that oblique vocal harmony?
But I still got Jess when I've got those.
Pristine. Salvatore is like off to the races if it was set in Italy. Lana said it was inspired by the black market of US weapons operating in Sicily in the 1940s. Freak experiments with a trap beat as Lana lures a lover to California. She also says rock music like she's Gil Faizon.
We can slow dance to rock music.
George, have you ever noticed that New York in the rain is like jazz music?
I admit I wasn't super jazzed about Lana going back to the Born to Die pie, but Honeymoon is good. I continue to enjoy the creative direction employed for Lana's sound and visuals while happily plugging away at my summoning circle. Honeymoon continued Lana's trend of reviews and sales. It also continued her trend of teasing a follow-up album shortly after its release. In a February 2016 interview, Lana said this new record would have a different direction, but a similar aesthetic. Again, words love to conceive and then verbalize them as a sound that we can recognize as language. Later that year, Lana popped up on The Weeknd's Starboy for Stargirl Interlude, again loving the brand synergy on display, and in July 2017, Lana released Lust for Life. Compared to Honeymoon, Lust for Life has a different direction, but a similar aesthetic. Oh god, she was right. In her own words, the aesthetic is retro sensibility with a futuristic flair. She also said the past 4 albums were made for her, but this one was for the fans. To that end, there's a real crowd-pleasing energy to this one, but not like Born to Die. She's way more willing to let pop music meet her where she's at rather than chase after it. To that end, Lust for Life features the most features of any Lana album up to this point. On the songwriting end, opener Love has input from Benny Blanco, and the title track has a songwriting credit from Max Martin. That track also has The Weeknd on vocals, and both he and Lana do great work. Aside from The Weeknd, there's also Stevie Nicks on Beautiful People, Beautiful Problems, Sean Ono Lennon on Tomorrow Never Came, and the hip-hop subtext has finally risen to the level of pure text. We've got A$AP Rocky verses on Groupie Love and Summer Bummer, and the latter also has Playboy Cardi. What a wild list of collaborators. This has got to be the biggest and best Lana album released so far. Lust for Life has some great tracks for sure, but for the first time, I'm not seeing the overall vision. I'm not seeing that 5-year plan, that mood board, that great appeal to the culture. Now, does a Lana Del Rey album have to have a larger vision? Not necessarily. The only person who really decides what a Lana Del Rey album is Lana Del Rey, but I personally don't see myself going back to the whole thing for many re-listens. I will go back for the highlights though. I'd recommend all the songs I mentioned, plus solo cuts like Cherry and God Bless America. Another Day, another Lana album with solid reviews and sales. She teased another album at the 2018 Grammys. The next year or so would see Lana basically drip feed info about this new album to the public. A song title drop here, a teaser on Instagram there, sprinkle on some potential guests, bam, you got a bowl and basket oven roasted rotisserie chicken from ShopRite. But honestly, I didn't pay much attention to it back in 2018 and 2019. Honeymoon and Lust for Life hadn't clicked for me back when they released. I felt like we were never gonna get another Ultraviolence. I thought I was out of the LDR game for good. After months of teases and leaks, in August 2019, we finally got Norman Rockwell. This thing is incredible. And what's incredible about how it's incredible is why it's incredible compared to the past Lana Del Rey albums. In terms of lyrics and visual presentation, it's in line with everything Lana had done before, but the musical approach is new. These songs, it's not that they build, but rather they naturally expand. They ooze out in all directions. They create space like very few Lana Del Rey songs before. I suppose it's worth mentioning how this was her first album with heavy input from go-to producer Jack Antonoff. And he does good work here. This is up there with Lord's Melodrama as some of his finest production work, in my opinion. The title track kicks things off, and this is the first thing Lana says. That's it. We can pack it up. The Lana Del Rey experiment is over. Our research has concluded. This is the closest thing to the Lana Del Rey ethos we've seen thus far. Also, the song is just gorgeous. I could listen to the opening strings and piano on repeat for hours. Mariner's Apartment Complex was the first single where Lana sings about being a guide or mentor to some person.
That's where I am. I'm your man.
Doin' Time is inexplicably a cover of the Sublime song, and I think it's wonderful. Has Lana played the Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX2 video game for the Nintendo GameCube system? The evidence is mounting. Venice Bitch is stellar. It's a stunning piece that sprawls out for over 9 minutes. Apparently, it's a love song in the same vein as video games or Brooklyn Baby, even though I've always felt like there's more to it. Like, there's something quietly apocalyptic about it, mostly because of the instrumental. That might just be me though. Not all these songs are about pure love though. I really enjoy the stretch from Cinnamon Girl to California for how Lana grapples with lackluster or even unhealthy relationships. California specifically is such a beautifully somber track produced by Zach Dawes from The Last Shadow Puppets. In an interview, Lana said she had actually started a side project with Zach and Alex Turner from Last Shadow Puppets and Arctic Monkeys. I'm sorry, what? You're just gonna drop that little gold nugget and not follow up on it in any way? The Greatest is another example of the album's oozing tendencies, like Venice Bitch. The way the song gradually fades out with just Lana and piano, I love it.
Oh, the life stream's almost on.
Lana also manages to sing the line,
Culture is made in a head of ball.
without making my ears spontaneously combust, and the album manages to stick the landing too with the gorgeous closer, Hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have. Well, it's a good thing she doesn't have it. Honey, listen to me. I can't explain why, but I need you to get the kids. I need you to get the car. We need to go right now. NFR is simply outstanding. It feels like the greatest payoff after following Lana across nearly a decade. And I don't even say that as a devoted fan, but this is the kind of album that turns people into devoted fans. The one where everything clicks and you just get it. If you have not heard this, please go check it out. Sales for NFR were good as usual, but reviews were wonderful. Immediately, it was deemed Lana's best record so far. It would go on to get nominated for 2 Grammys, including Album of the Year in 2020. One might think the rapturous reception would inspire Lana to rest for a bit and not release new music, but she was out here teasing a new album the day after NFR dropped. It was intended to release in 2020 and would be called White Hot Forever. In September 2019, she joined Miley Cyrus and Ariana Grande for Don't Call Me Angel from the Charlie's Angels reboot. Can I just tell you to go watch Todd in the Shadow's video about this song? Because I'm going to quote him directly on this. What the f*** is she doing here? In July 2020, Lana released her first audiobook, Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass. It was released as an actual book 2 months later. She had been teasing some kind of written word project since 2018, and 2020 just happened to be the year that it happened. Later in 2020, Lana went live on Instagram to do election night coverage at a Denny's. Think about it. All of the decisions in your life led you to hearing that sentence. She also teased a record of American standards that, as of now, has not seen release. But we did get a cover of You'll Never Walk Alone, which was used in a documentary about Liverpool FC. Man, it sure feels like White Hot Forever since we heard about White Hot Forever. What happened to it? Well, it was postponed in November 2020 due to vinyl shortages. We would have to wait until March 2021 to finally get the album that doesn't know how to spell White Hot Forever. Okay, fine, it got a name change. Chemtrails over the Country Club. This one continues the winning formula of NFR. Spacious production, songs that naturally thicken, a lot of this man. Since this is very much in line with my favorite Lana Del Rey album up to this point, it only makes sense that I find this one to be just fine. I can't help it, Mikey needs more diversity. Taken as a whole, the production can feel too muted for my tastes, but that doesn't mean it's a dull listen or anything. There are some quality cuts on this album-shaped slab of meat. The title track, for instance, I love the dichotomy of a classic suburbia with the underbelly of conspiracy theories. The opener, White Dress, is great too, and it has this hilarious visual.
Down at the Minute Music Business Conference.
Dance Till We Die has some nice drums in the bridge, and I'd be a damn fool if I said this album didn't end well. The closer is a cover of Joni Mitchell's For Free with Zeladay and Wise Blood. It is absolutely lovely. Chemtrails is good. I like that Lana is pushing ahead with the direction of NFR, though I think I will enjoy future albums in this style more. I say that like I haven't already listened to all her records. People enjoyed Chemtrails, not to the same religion-creating extent as NFR, but still good nonetheless. The album wasn't free from discourse, however. There was some controversy around the album cover and how it appeared to depict a bunch of white women. Now first, this can be attributed to the black and white color grading, since the music video for the title track has people of color. Second, and I should have led with this, does anyone actually still care about this? I don't think this would have been remembered if Lana herself didn't clap back at it. It kind of feels like she wanted to preempt the controversy, but ended up creating it. But Lana soon turned to, once again, a new album. She teased a new record called Rock Candy Sweet the day after Chemtrails came out and said it would release in June that same year. So, did it? No. In October 2021, Lana released her second album of the year, Blue Banisters. This one did not get much hype from Lana before it came out. Now, that could be chalked up to her deleting her social media the month prior, but there's another bigger reason. In an interview, Lana said she created this album as a response to accusations of cultural appropriation and glorifying abusive relationships. Lana's career up to this point had not been free of controversy. There was the Chemtrails album cover from before, there was an open letter in 2020 where Lana decried constant scrutiny of her work that some read as a put-down of other artists. Heck, you could even go back to her early days to when she said she was more interested in Tesla and SpaceX than feminism, which is, in hindsight, absolutely hysterical. In her own words, quote, Blue Banisters was more of an explanatory album, more of a defensive album, which is why I didn't promote it, period, at all. I didn't want anyone to listen to it. I just wanted it to be there in case anyone was ever curious for any information. So that makes Blue Banisters, right off the bat, a fascinating album to get into. It seems like this one will be far more personal to who Lana is as a person, and it makes some changes to her formula that are subtle but impactful. For one, no Jack Antonoff, he's nowhere on this one. Instead, we've got a motley crew of producers like Zach Dawes, Rick Knowles, Lauren Humphrey from the band Guards, and Mike Dean. Zach Dawes produced the opener Textbook, a song about Lana finding a lover that fills the gaps left by her father. Zach also worked on Dealer, which was supposed to be on the same project as NFR's California, and it's got a sizable vocal contribution from Miles Kane of the Last Shadow Puppets.
Please don't try my father either.
Arcadia is a lovely ballad about the titular location, a place Lana views as a safe haven. I like Black Bathing Suit and how the vocal performance in the second half gets more uncontrolled.
We'll have the last laugh about it.
I like Wildflower Wildfire with its production from Mike Dean and bit-crushed drums. I like the talkbox solo on Living Legend that I thought was a guitar at first. And I especially like the closer Sweet Carolina, Ba Ba Ba, and this line specifically.
Crypto forever screams your stupid boyfriend. F you, Kevin.
I feel like I haven't said this enough, but Lana can be really funny. So by the end, do I feel like I've gotten the necessary information? Do I feel like I know Lana Del Rey more? Sorta. I see it in bits and pieces. There's more lyrical emphasis on those close to her, like her dad on the opener, her sister on the closer, close friend Jane Rogers on Living Legend. Those details are nice, but honestly, I'm more caught up with the engaging production on this one, and Lana's experimentation with her vocal delivery. I guess what I mean is, Lana intended this to be good in one way, and I found it good in another way that I don't think diminishes her way. Blue Banisters saw a similar level of praise and sales as Chemtrails. Lana did not announce a new album right after its release, but she did start working on one soon after. In January 2022, she dropped a new song, Watercolor Eyes, for the Euphoria soundtrack. In October of that year, she was featured on Snow on the Beach by Taylor Swift, just like how Waldo is in this photo. Can't you see him? Perhaps it was this song that led someone to break into Lana's car 2 days before the song came out. These incidents were probably not related. Whomever this assailant was stole a laptop with loads of family footage, some unreleased songs, and a manuscript of Lana's second book. If you're wondering, like me, why none of that has leaked online, it's because Lana apparently wiped the laptop remotely. None of that seemed to hurt the next album's progress, though. It was announced in December 2022 with 3 singles released in the lead up. There was also one billboard put up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That might sound deliriously random, but many believe this was done as a middle finger to an ex who lived in that town. In March 2023, we got Lana's most recent album as of now. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? The roster of producers is again a mix of old and new: Mike Hermosa, Zach Dawes, Benji Lycett, Jack Antonoff, Drew Erickson, but we've also got a whole slew of guest stars like Father John Misty, John Batiste, Tommy Genesis, Simmel, and Judah Smith. This is the most stacked collection of collaborators Lana's ever assembled, and yet what's most surprising about Ocean Boulevard is how personal it is. Family is a big theme. Opener The Grants, for example, which has Lana singing about the different aspects of family members she carries within her. In specific, her uncle's death is referenced multiple times, like on The Grants and Kintsugi. That song depicts the process of putting yourself together again after being broken, much like the Japanese art of Kintsugi. Maybe it's an extension of the more personal songwriting, but Lana's singing is more conversational. She even calls it automatic singing. The idea is she'd sing impromptu into her phone, then send the recordings to composer Drew Erickson, who would add strings and other instruments. Fingertips is a big example of this.
Drive-by pulled me up by my waist, long hair.
I like this approach, but I will say, Lana, are you going full Mark Kozelek on us? Please don't. Like, if this is your Benji, that's good, take pride in that, but please don't continue down this road. I don't know this for sure, but I think Judah Smith interlude and John Batiste interlude were also partially recorded on an iPhone, just because they feel impromptu. Like how you can hear Lana agreeing with Judah during a sermon. I like them both. And to that end, Ocean Boulevard is just as sharp with its sound as it is with its lyrics. A&W is great for the first half, but that second half? That was when I had to stand up, remove my headphones, do 10 cartwheels, and give toys to my disgusting children. It takes on this darker, distorted tone with pitch-shifted vocals, and this line,
Your mom called, I told her, you're f***ing up big time.
Margaret is a freewheeling slow dance featuring Jack Antonoff on vocals. Turns out this is actually a dedication to Jack and his now wife, Margaret Qualley. I also love this bit where Lana casually drops the wedding date.
The party's December 18. Alright, let's waltz this out.
And just in case you weren't convinced Jack produced this, sax is all over the outro. Before the last chorus of Peppers, you can hear Lana and Tommy Genesis talk about ending the song like Wipeout. And in that last chorus, for a few seconds, it actually does sound like Wipeout. The album closes with Taco Truck X VB, and the second half reveals that VB is Venice Bitch,
Oh God, miss you on my lips.
the original, grimier version of Venice Bitch. It's cool that this version exists in an official manner. I'm also glad it was not on NFR. I do prefer that version, but I'm always happy with more Venice Bitch in my life. It's funny, Lana pitched Blue Banisters as this explanation of who she is and why she creates music like this, but honestly, I'd say this album does an even better job of that. No shade to Blue Banisters or Chemtrails, but this is the most I've enjoyed a Lana album since NFR, hands down.
Practicing witchcraft, and y'all look what happened at one of her concerts. This stuff is so real.
There hasn't been much to report from the front lines since Ocean Boulevard, likely because we're not even a year out from its release. There's been the one-off track Say Yes to Heaven in May 2023. It's an outtake from Ultraviolence that got leaked and blew up on TikTok, so Lana and co. decided to officially release it. That same month, we got another version of Snow on the Beach where you could actually hear Lana, and in July 2023, Lana was spotted working at a Waffle House in Alabama. There is a backstory to this, but you know what? I'm not gonna tell you it. This moment is so pure and beautiful, I don't want it to be affected by the curse of knowledge, and I think it's a perfect place to end this dive. If you want to get into Lana Del Rey, my personal favorite albums were Ultraviolence, NFR, and Ocean Boulevard. I would also recommend Born to Die for, the historical significance. And if you enjoyed this deep DISCOG dive, check out the one I did on Taylor Swift.